What's up everyone, it's Bones here. In today's video, I'll be featuring heroes post-Battles of Legends, but before I begin, if you could happen to click on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons, it would be greatly appreciated as it goes a long way in supporting the channel and shows me that you like content like this. Clicking on those notification bells would also mean a lot as they notify you when I upload on the channel. To begin, I would like to start by saying that I will be just featuring Infernal Rage combos in this video as it is the card I want to feature, and we're going to use the effect of the Ferris, pitching the Mali, getting the increase, using the increase, and now we contribute the Ferris in order to get our Vion, then use the effect of the Vion, which will send the Denier or the Mali, whichever one you opened with along with the Ferris, as you really only need the Denier or the Mali along with the Ferris to do this. But we're going to use the effect of the Vion to get ourselves the polymerization, activate the Mali, which will get us the extra body as we're now going to link away into Cross Crusader, use the effect of the Cross Crusader to bring back the Denier, and now we can use the Denier to put back the banished Mali into our deck. Now we can use our Cross Crusader tributing the Mali in order to get ourselves the Stratos, and then we'll use the Cross Crusader along with the Denier to go into our Infernal Devicer, then use its effect, which will allow us to search out the Neos by revealing the Neos Shining Wingman. So from here we'll normal summon the Stratos, use its effect, which will allow us to search the Dark Angel, and now we can activate our Poly, which will allow us to go into the Infernal Rage. And this is a new card that takes 2 elemental hero monsters with different attributes, must be fusion summoned. If this card is special summoned, you can add one favorite card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You contribute this card fusion summoned using a normal monsters as material, special summon 1 level 7 or lower elemental hero monster that cannot be normal summon set from your deck or extra deck, ignoring its summoning condition. You can only use each effect of Infernal Rage once per turn, and this is why you happen to play the elemental hero Neos along with the fact that it is a wingman, so you can go into your Shining this way. But we're now going to use its effect in order to net ourselves the search for the favorite contact, then we contribute it off for its effect in order to go into our Sunriser, activate the Sunriser, which will get us the Miracle Fusion, and now we can link away into our Wonder Driver, activate the Mali in order to trigger the Wonder Driver, and now we'll be able to get back the polymerization, as we're going to activate the Denier in graveyard since we haven't yet, and then activate the Poly in order to go into our DPE. Now we'll activate the Miracle Fusion in order to get our Wake Up, and then we can activate the DPE in order to pop itself along with the Mali, or along with the Wake Up, in order to get the effects of both, and then special summon out the Shadow Mist, use its effect search the Mask Change, and now we'll be able to set 2 along with activate the Dark Angel, and then pass our turn on that, as we're going to go into our opponent's turn. And I just want to show what we can do here, as on the standby phase we're going to get the DPE back, and then we can trigger the Wonder Driver, which will allow us to get any of our fusion spells back. I just picked Miracle Fusion because we have stuff in graveyard, nothing in hand. And then I'm going to activate the favorite contact here along with the Mask Change. The Mask Change will allow us to get a Dark Law on board, while the favorite contact will fuse away the Wingman and the Neos in order to go into our Shining Neos. And this is pretty cool here, as it gives you an alternate option going first that also doesn't entirely lose to Dark Ruler, because you're just able to set cards and base your disruptions off of that. So for this second combo, and I would like to give credit to Jhero YT, who happened to be the gateway to some of these combos that I made here, or the different combination of cards that I used to get there, and I'll link his channel down below. But this one is going to start with a Hero Lives and Mali or Denier. It doesn't matter as long as you have either one. We're going to bring out our Stratos, and then we can use its effect in order to get ourselves the Ferris, activate the Ferris, which will pitch the Mali, and now we can use the effect of Ferris in order to get the increase, and then use the increase in order to tribute the Ferris, and then bring out the Vion. The Vion can then get its effect, which will send you either the Mali or Denier, whichever one that you didn't open with, and then from here you can activate the Vion, banish the Ferris for your Poly, then activate the Mali, get yourself the other copy of Mali, and then go into your Cross Crusader, as you do want to keep the Mali on board so that you can use your Denier here, and then tribute off the Mali so that you can just get its effect again. But from here we're going to use the effect of Cross Crusader, search out the Stratos, normal summon the Stratos, use its effect, which will allow us to search for the Dark Angel, Now from here we'll go into our Infernal Devicer, use the effect of the Infernal Devicer to reveal the Wingman, and then search ourselves the Neos. Then from here we can go into our Wonder Driver, activate the Poly, we'll go into the Infernal Rage, trigger the Wonder Driver as we'll be able to use the effect of the Infernal Rage, and then we'll be able to get ourselves the Favorite Contact along with the Poly, tribute the Infernal Rage for the Sunriser, use the Sunriser in order to get us into our Miracle Fusion, and now we can use the Mali in order to special summon another copy of itself and get ourselves the materials for DPE, as the Sunriser does have the level requirement for it. And then we're going to activate the Miracle Fusion, go into our Wake Up, activate the DPE, as now we can pop itself along with the Wake Up, and then we can activate the Wake Up along with the DPE in order to get the two special summons. The DPE comes back on your opponent's standby phase. The Wake Up will bring out Shadow Mist, and I would like to point out that at this point in time, I'm going to be searching Mass Change off of the Shadow Mist, but for whatever reason, if your Dark Angel didn't get to your hand because your opponent stopped that specific search, then what you could do here is bypass on using the Shadow Mist effect to search the Mass Change, go into your Decimator, the Link 3, and then get the search off of the Shadow Mist for the Dark Angel so that you can get the Dark Angel lock anyways, but it depends on whether you want Dark Law or Dark Angel for your end board. Now we're going to activate our Dark Angel here as we'll be able to set 2 and pass, and I just want to go over to our opponent's turn, show what else we got, as we're going to get back our DPE, activate the Favorite Contact, then we'll be able to bring out our Shining, as we'll be able to activate the Wonder Driver here, we'll use the Mass Change now, getting ourselves the Dark Law, we'll also be able to get a Search, as we're just going to get ourselves the Liquid. You can really get yourself anything, you can also get yourself the Honest Neos here. There's different things that you can do, it just depends on the situation, of course. Now for this next one, this is a very similar one to the previous one, as we're going to be starting with a Hero Lives and Stratos. As you noticed, we did search the Dark Angel off of Stratos, and I want to show what happens when you have to normal summon a Stratos so early this time around, as we're going to do just that, and we're going to add ourselves either the Denier or Mali, and now we're basically just at the same parts that we were before, except with different monsters on board, and we can basically just do the same thing all over again. So we're just going to use the increase to get the Vion, use the Vion, which will be able to send the Mali, then use the Vion to banish the Ferris, get ourselves the Poly, then go into our second Mali with the Mali from our graveyard, then we'll go into our Cross Crusader, use the Cross Crusader to bring back the Denier, activate the Denier, which will get back the banished Mali. Now we can go into our Cross Crusader's effect in order to tribute off the Mali for our Dark Angel this time around. Since we already normal summon Stratos, we don't need to search it this time around. Then go into our Infernal Devicer, get ourselves Neos along with the ability to go into the Wonder Driver now, and we'll activate the Poly in order to go into our Infernal Rage, then trigger the Wonder Driver, activate the Infernal Rage, we'll get ourselves the Poly and the Favorite Contact, and from here we're then going to tribute it off for the Sunriser, as we're going to use the Sunriser for our Miracle Fusion. Now we can use the Mali in order to get our DPE materials, as we're going to activate the Poly now, go into our DPE, activate the Miracle Fusion, go into our Wake Up, and now from here we can activate the Wake Up, pop itself along with the DPE, and then we can go into our two monsters. Well, the DPE we get back on our opponent's standby phase, but we'll be able to bring out the Shadow Mist here, and as I said earlier, if you didn't get to search out the Dark Angel for whatever reason, you can just go into your Link 3, but we're going to get ourselves the Mass Change, activate the Dark Angel, and then from here we'll just set 2 and pass with the same disruptions that were shown previously. Now, I want to show a couple of more sort of unconventional ways that you can get there, and this one happens to be Vion with your 2 bricks, Mali and Neos. So we're going to normal summon the Vion, then search ourselves a hero off the Shadow Mist send, and then we're going to get ourselves the Denier, use the effect of the Vion, and now we can make an early DPE with our graveyard effects active, as we have Mali and Denier in the graveyard now. So this line is kind of nice in specific because we have the DPE early, which lets us play around Nibiru a little bit better, but we're going to go into our Cross Crusader now, bring back the Denier, and then use the Denier to put back the Mali, and then from here we can use the Cross Crusader tribute off the Denier for our Liquid Soldier, and then from here activate the Mali as we'll be able to get the other copy of itself, go into our Wonder Driver, activate the Denier, then get ourselves the Wonder Driver effect to get back the Poly, and now we're going to activate the Poly by fusing away the Neos and the Liquid Soldier to go into our Infernal Rage, and now we can use our Liquid Soldier along with the Flame Wingman in order to get our favorite contact, and the 2 draws that I get here will just be random cards. Don't treat this as Ferris, I'm not going to use it. And we're then going to go into our Sunrise, we'll use the Sunrise in order to get ourselves the Miracle Fusion, go into our Decimator with all 3, and I would like to point that out because it's a way to get the extra names into the graveyard. You're really not going to be using them, so if you don't want to keep the extra body on board, you don't really need to, as we're going to activate our Miracle Fusion now, get our Wake Up, and then from here we can activate the PE in order to pop itself and the Wake Up, and then we'll be able to get our effects in the graveyard as we'll be able to bring out the Stratos this time around, and the Stratos is going to be able to search ourselves the Dark Angel, as now we can activate the Dark Angel, put it on our opponent's board, set the favorite contact, and now I am going to show this because since we did end with the Dread Decimator, I'm going to activate the favorite contact, and this time around I'm going to put back the Mali and the Denier to go into our Dystopia. Now, you could go into your Wingman, but at least in one of these combos, I wanted to show that you could do this with favorite contact because it will definitely come up. Now, for the final combo, and this will be a test hand slash combo, it's really a 2.5 card combo, as we happen to open the Talent and the Imperm, but this just takes Ferris plus any hero along with the Fusion Destiny, and we're going to start by activating the Ferris, pitching the Vion. We'll then be able to get ourselves the Increase. We'll then tribute off the Ferris, activate the Increase in order to get ourselves the Vion, use the Vion, which will be able to send ourselves the Malicious, and we'll use the effect of the Vion in order to get ourselves the Poly, use the effect of Mali in order to get ourselves access into the Cross Crusader. We'll use the Cross Crusader's effect to revive the Mali, and now we'll use its effect in order to search ourselves a hero, as we're going to get the Stratos, normal summon the Stratos, then we can get ourselves a search for the Liquid Soldier, and then we'll go into our Infernal Devicer, as we're going to be able to get a search for the Neos here, and from here we can activate our Poly. We'll then be able to go into our Infernal Devicer, or our Infernal Rage, using the Neos and the Liquid Soldier from our hand. We'll be able to get ourselves the favorite contact along with some draws, as we do get the Miracle Fusion, and that isn't the greatest because we were just going to search it off of the Sunriser, but we have a decent enough hand anyways, so we're going to activate the Miracle Fusion here, activate the Wonder Driver off the Wake Up summon, and we're going into the Wake Up first because we have the Fusion Destiny, which will Dark Hero lock us. So we're going to go into our DPE now, activate the Denier, and from here we can then use the Denier's effect, which will put back the Banished Mali, activate our Mali that's in the graveyard, and now we can activate the Polymerization, which will allow us to go into our Dystopia. Now we can use our Dystopia's effect in order to burn our opponent, as we'll then be able to use the DPE now, as we'll pop the Wake Up along with the DPE, and from here we'll get our effects. I'm going to get the Shadow Mist, and as you see, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to get the Mass Change. I'm going to go directly into the Dread Decimator, and from here we can use the effect of the Shadow Mist in order to search for the Dark Angel. Because we have 3D heroes in the graveyard, we can now use the Dark Angel in order to spell lock our opponent. We'll then set our cards here, go to the end phase, and then on our opponent's turn we'll be able to get back the DPE, and then we have the Imperm and the favorite contact to wrap up this end board. So with all of the combos out of the way, we can finally get onto the deck profile, and you'll notice that I'm on 40 cards. This can definitely go up because you're playing more bricks now with the Neos and the favorite contact, but I just wanted to give a rough draft of the build along with the necessary cards that you need to play so that you could have something to start with. As you'll see that I'm also choosing to play board breakers and stuff. I really like thrust in heroes because you're just able to get yourself the Fusion Destiny, the Hero Lives, along with some board wipes, which can be really useful going second. Now, the Honest Neos happens to be another brick that you're playing. This is also something that can be replaced by something like the D-Force if you don't want to play the Honest Neos. There's also the E-Emergency Call, but I think if you're aiming for consistency, just go over 40 at that point. You'll also see that I am on the 3 Stratos, and because of the Infernal Rage, along with the Neos being in the deck now. You want to see your Stratos more. It's more involved into your combos. I think if you're playing the Neo stuff, you're going to want 3 Stratos, which in tandem is also why there's only 1 Shadow Mist. It just became 3-1 instead of 2-2. Now, because we happen to get the Infernal Visor into the extra deck because of the Neo stuff, we had to cut a card in the extra deck, which is also why you see 1 Dark Law, and that is sort of a con that you have when you're playing this extra engine. It just makes it so that your extra deck is even more tight. Another thing that I would like to point out is that with Bystials potentially coming back into the format, D-Force may become more important again, so that's something that should be worth keeping an eye on as the format progresses. But with all of that out of the way, I don't really have much else to say, so I'm just going to get onto the card by card, and we have the 3 Ferris, the 1 Plasma, the 2 Mali, the 3 A Hero Lives, the 2 Talents, the 1 Thrust, the 2 Lightning Storm, the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, the 3 Fusion Destiny, the 1 Denier, the 1 Dark Angel, the 1 Increase, the 2 Vion, the 1 Shadow Mist, the 1 Liquid Soldier, the 1 Neos, the 1 Shining Neos, the 1 Reinforcement of the Army, evenly, 2 Imperms, 3 Mass Change, Poly, Miracle Fusion, Favorite Contact, 3 Stratos to round out the main deck. Onto the extra deck, we have the APE, we have the Dystopia, Dark Law, Blast, Acid, Absolute Zero, Sunriser, Infernal Rage, Neo Swingman, Wake Up, Wonder Driver, Infernal Devicer, the 2 Cross Crusader, and the Dread Decimator to round out the deck profile. Anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. It's Bones, signing